Hello everyone. Today let us find out what is value or tonal value when it comes to painting. That is how we practically understand what tonal values to use when we are painting any subject. For example, I have taken here a pink rose. This pink rose is the tutorial which we will be doing for December. And I will just share my camera so that you can have a better view. And what value is, or what tonal value is, means the lightness or darkness of any color, which will allow us to get a 3D form in that subject. So this is the flower which we are going to paint. And with respect to this flower, what do we understand? We understand what is the darkest dark that we can see. It is in here, here. The darkest darks are also over here, little bit over here, and in some other places. Now we must also understand what are the lightest lights, which is this area. This section, which is in the light area, is the lightest lights, along with some others, which is here and here. What does it tell us? It tells us that the source of light is somewhere coming from this end. When it is coming from this end, the light is directly falling over here. That is why we say that this is the lightest light, as well as on some of these petals. So besides finding our darkest darks and the lightest lights, we also need to find what are the mid values. The mid values are those which are in between these lights, lightest lights and the darkest darks. Okay, these are some of these. Okay, some of these over here, some over here. Okay, this is how if we can put down all the lightest lights, darkest darks, and the mid values, the mid tonal values of this flower on the paper in the shapes in which we can see it, we will be able to have an image, a painting, which will look very much realistic. So practically, what do we do? Practically, you can take a black and white image or a grayscale image of the same so that you can understand where exactly is your dark. Now here is what I see is the darkest area. Here is another. Here is the third, the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh area, and a little bit over here as well. So with the help of a grayscale image, you can even check it out on your mobile phones by putting the thing on a grayscale mode. Then you can see where you need to go, very dark, very light, and you can even find the mid-tones, which is very much required so that we have a similar painting as we see on the picture. This is with regard to the flower, and similarly we will need to work out for the stem as well. So once our line drawing is complete, we will begin with the painting. If any of you wants to do this flower, you are most welcome. And secondly, this flower isn't pink. I chose the same color pink which we have used earlier also, so that in case you do not have the reds or the pinks, if I had chosen some other color, you would need to buy that color. So I don't want you to invest in it right now. You can use any of your colors. You can even use green as long as the tonal values are different. And as what we see on this image, we will be able to create a beautiful, realistic looking flower. Okay, so the color is relatively less important. What is important is to place our values in the shapes in which we see them. Thank you.